Hello, hello. Welcome to one of my favorite locations. I would tell you where I am, but then I'd have to kill you. I wouldn't want to do that in a celebratory Happy New Year message. I wish you all good things for 2023. Thank you. If you're a radio listener on SiriusXM, if you watch the CNN program, or if you're a daily subscriber to the newsletter, you know I love that. Are you looking forward to the new year? Are you doing something for New Year's Eve? New Year's Eve, for me as an adult, has never been a big celebration. I don't remember being awake for the reining in of the new year at any time in the recent past. I mean, Y2K comes to mind. That was years ago, and that was only out of a panic to make sure that the electric grid and computer connections and so forth didn't all fail, and of course it was a bust. But it's never... it's a reflective, it's a contemplative time for me, but not at the moment. I don't feel the need to be there at that moment and drink champagne or some such thing. But I don't begrudge those who do. By all means, have fun, be safe. When I was younger, when I was in junior high and high school, things were different because our family, my parents, my brother, and me, we did have a tradition that developed over years, and it was a hell of a lot of fun. We would go and eat dinner at 5 o'clock at Windows on the World in the World Trade Center, which was, I guess, the 109th floor. I might be wrong about that, but, high atop the Twin Towers. And we all know how that ended. And then we would scramble uptown. It was always difficult trying to hail a taxi and then convincing the taxi driver to let 4 of us in it. And we'd go to a Broadway show for which we would have purchased tickets far in advance. And then we would be up at midnight, kind of removed from Times Square, but caught up in the mayhem of Midtown Manhattan. Those were fun days. And then usually New Year's morning, go to this tiny but great coffee shop called Beyond. Where is Beyond? Probably at about 68 or 69th and Madison. Still like to go there. Anyway, whatever your tradition might be, or no tradition like ours today, I just hope that it's going to be a great year for you and your family. Health, most important, happiness, and I wish good things for our country. I will between now and New Year's Day, I will definitely put pen to paper and think about things that I want to do better and focus on in my personal life. And set goals and aspirations professionally as well. Not resolutions per se, but try and sketch out some broad strokes. I'll tell you one of the things that I want to do that's an overlap of both professional and personal, because I mean that which I say on air and on my different platforms, that I think as a country we've become so detached. And so many of us are leading solitary existences, he says, in the woods. But we're not mingling. Sure, we might be socializing, but we're spending our time, our work time, our play time, our kid raising time, surrounded by people who look like us and come from similar background. We got to get out of our bubbles because the country is growing detached. If I have a sort of a big picture, overarching theme for what ails us, it's that Robert Putnam and his successors' research, Bowling Alone, that, and I'm thinking of Charles Murray, and I'm thinking of so many of those social scientists who've said that when we're not building bridges with one another, we're not extending a hand to people who need it. And it's also driving the partisan divide. Hell, you've heard me say all these things on air. I guess what I'm trying to say is I believe them. And in my own world, I want to do a better job of mingling, to use Bill Maher's word. The whole Wawa lecture that I delivered on air. Where in my world do I go? Where maybe it's just for 5 minutes, but I'm surrounded by and having some type of human interaction with people who didn't go to the same schools that I went to, don't live in the same neighborhoods that I live in today, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's Wawa. There at 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm surrounded by landscapers and men and women who are in scrubs and going to work in healthcare, and me, a talk radio host. Those type of common denominator experiences are what the world needs, or what the United States needs more of. That's my, I don't want to get all preachy, but that's my big thought for 2023. Look for ways that you can spend your time with people unlike yourself, and good things will flow from that. That's what I'm seeking to do professionally and personally in 2023, because the divide that exists in the country, predicated, by the way, on this false idea that there are so many differences. We don't have so many differences. We haven't changed our views in the last 30 or 40 years, so says the social science. But the perception that we're all so different now is growing, and perception will become reality if we don't deal with it. Well, this is not exactly what I set out to say. What I really set out to say was Happy New Year, and thank you for listening to me, and good health and happiness in the new year. See ya.